What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Swish Life Garage. I'm back with it this morning with my Prelude. I want to do a little bit more diagnostic work this morning. I've mentioned before that the Prelude does burn some oil, but I have noticed that a little bit of coolant has been missing from the radiator every so often, and I'm not sure if it's exactly maybe some air pockets in the engine just finally coming up to the top, or it's in fact burning some coolant. So definitely it's burning some oil, but if it's burning some coolant, I might have a blown head gasket. So this morning I'm going to do a compression check. I've done the compression check before this video. I'm going to do it here for you guys, and then as well going to be doing the leak down test on the motor to figure out if I have to pull the head or what's going on with it. So let's go ahead and get started. Open up the hood. So underneath the hood here of the Prelude, the first thing I just checked right now is the radiator. Opening up, and I noticed some coolant is missing as I look down into here. I just checked it about 2 days ago and it was at full. Right now I'm just going to put some distilled water in here and just fill it right back on up. And it should also be noted that I am on a driveway on an incline, so I'm at the best possible position to check my radiator, because of course all the air would float up to the top and all the fluid back to the car. But now the radiator is filled up. We'll start on the compression test. First thing I got to do is take out the spark plug wires, lay them down somewhere or in a way to where you don't forget which order they're in. After you get those wires out, going to take out the spark plugs. We're about to get started on the compression test. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I have made a video about this before, but you want to make sure you have the fuse to your fuel pump or ECU out, because you don't want fuel spraying in whenever you do the test. You are going to turn the motor, and then while doing it, of course, you're going to have the pedal all the way down to the ground, opening up the throttle body all the way to allow max air. I have heard that doing that as well will cut off your fuel supply, cut off your injectors. I haven't verified that for myself, but that's something you want to look into, or just be sure and take out your fuel pump fuse or ECU fuse. Here is the compression tester. We're going to hook this up into the spark plugs where the spark plugs were at. We're going to turn the motor over 4 times and then get the reading here. So what we want is all matching numbers across all cylinders. Now if we don't, then that means one of the pistons is leaking, the piston rings are leaking, and we're not getting max performance out of the engine. Now it doesn't mean that the engine can't run, it just means it's not running to its full capacity. Especially on an engine that you're wanting to modify or really throw some performance on, then you really want to see all matching numbers. And if not, then more than likely you want to switch out the motor before you do any sort of performance mods onto it. That just tells you the health of the rings and the engine itself. It doesn't let you know if something is wrong as far as the valves being bent or having a blown head gasket. So that's why we're going to do the leak down test up next. But I'm going to do this real quick and see if we get all matching numbers. Cylinder 1 looks to be about 215. Let's go number 2. Cylinder 2, almost 215, about the same, looking good. Cylinder 3, about 215 as well. Time to get on to cylinder 4. Last cylinder is at 215 as well, so 215 across all 4 cylinders. That's definitely a good sign, but it's something I expect with a car of this mileage, which has 88,000 miles. Time to do leak down test to see what's going on with the coolant and as well with the oil. Here is the compression tester. I bought this off of Jegs or Summit Racing, I forget which one, but the OTC cylinder leakage tester kit 5609, if you want to go ahead and use the same one. I bought this, and honestly this is going to be the first time I use it. I know this is going to last me a long time, probably my whole lifetime. Definitely want to invest into tools if you're going to be messing with cars. So here it is right here. It does give the instructions up here. If you guys want to take a look at it, I'll put the camera on there. You guys can pause it and just read over it if you want to. Now here's what included in here. Of course, we have the actual tester. This is the pressure that would be going inside of this cylinder, and then here would be the pressure that would be leaking, so we'll be able to see the percentage. No car is perfect, so there is going to be some leakage from every car, but of course you don't want to see that much, about only 10 or 15%. Right here is where we'll be connecting the hose from the air compressor, and here we'll be connecting the hose that goes into the engine. Here in the box, we basically have a hose exactly like the compression tester, except it doesn't have a Schrader valve in there to hold the pressure. So it's just straight hose that connects here into the spark plug hole. We do have some adapters here for different spark plug sizes for different vehicles, just in case this one does not fit. This one here already does fit the Honda, so I can use it just like that. Before we start the leak down test, I need to get the car ready. Already have the spark plugs and the spark plug wires out. I'm gonna jack up the car here on the side so I could get access to the wheel well, get access to the crank. I could get a socket and a ratchet on the crank. Got the Prelude jacked up. Do have it on a jack stand as well. And now we have access to the wheel well to the crank. I took off 2 bolts for the tray underneath, so I'm able to get this tray out of the way without having to go through this plastic hole. Have direct access to the crank. Get a 19mm socket, and then I have a extension and a ratchet on there, and we could get it onto there. Next thing I do is get a long extension and stick it down in a spark plug hole. Of course, make sure your extension is clean. Stick it on down there all the way till you hit the cylinder, and now I could turn the ratchet and see where exactly the cylinder is at. I want the extension to go all the way up to make sure I'm on top dead center. Once you see it drop down, you could just go back up and keep it there, and after that it'll be ready to do the leak down test on that specific cylinder. Right there, if you guys saw the extension go up and down, we have the cylinder on top dead center. Cylinder 1 is ready for the test. All I gotta do now is hook up the air compressor and the hose, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so compressor is filled up with air. Get this out of there, and then we're gonna put the hose that came with the leak down test. So I did take off the radiator cap, and as well I took off a hose to the intake. See if we could hear where the air is escaping from. Gonna hook it on up here. That's hooked up. Going to turn up the air. Right now it's all the way counterclockwise to 0. I'm gonna turn it up hopefully to 100, and we should see that at 100 or 85, and we should be good. Anything less than that, then that means we have an air leak somewhere. Turn it on up. It's holding. My air compressor probably low right now, but as you can see, it's pretty much holding the same pressure, meaning that this cylinder is good. I'm going to put the extension here in cylinder number 2, turn the crank on over, make sure it's at top dead center, put the leak down test onto there, see what's going on with that one. Cylinder number 2. Alright, rechecking cylinder number 2. It is at top dead center. Here we go. I'll turn up the pressure. So that one is holding pressure. I don't see the radiator leaking or hear any noises. So number 2 is definitely good. top dead center, have the hose in it, hook it up to the tester. Let's go ahead and turn it up. So it's holding pressure. Now cylinder number 4 is ready. Already have the hose on in here. Gonna hook it up. Let's turn up the pressure. There we go right there. So it is holding pressure, but I noticed this. Radiator is starting to overflow. We got a blown head gasket on this one. You guys saw it right there. I checked each cylinder. All of them were holding pressure, but number 4 definitely had coolant flowing out of the radiator. So that's going to be my issue there with the coolant missing. I'm pretty sure the reason for the oil burning whenever I start up the car or whenever I'm idling, I see that smoke. I'm pretty sure that's going to be coming from the valve seals. Now the valve seals you are able to change out without taking the head off, but since it has a blown head gasket, I'm definitely going to have to pull the whole head off, give it a refresh, put it back on here, and then we should be good to go. As of now, I'm still driving this car. Every couple of days I am checking the coolant, I am checking the oil, and as well I do have an ABS leak, so I am watching the brake fluid. But I really wanted to do this test to finally put to rest all of the thoughts I had about the car, what might be wrong with it, what I might have to do. In one of the other videos I did put the bore camera down into the cylinders. You could tell that the oil has been coming from the valves, and so I was thinking all I had to do was just the valve seals, but then I started noticing that coolant. The good thing I didn't do the valve seals just yet, because that would have just been kind of for nothing when I could just do all the work at once whenever I pull it off. So of course, after you're finished testing, throw everything back together, put the lower shield back on, put on your wheel if you took it off, take it off of the jackson, set it on down, put your spark plugs on in and your spark plug wires, and now you should have a lot more information on how healthy your engine is or what type of work needs to be done next. I definitely got the information I needed, confirming that it has a blown head gasket, which is the reason why I'm missing coolant. So head definitely needs to come off, need to do a top end refresh, and after that I should be all set. If you're doing the same thing to your vehicle and you notice on the leak down test that the air is bypassing into somewhere else, of course take off your oil cap. You might hear the air or feel the air rushing out of there. Then you have blow by on your pistons, on your cylinders. And if you hear the air coming out of your intake, take off one of the hoses, or if you want to take off your intake tubing, hear it from the throttle body, more than likely you're going to have a bent valve. If you go to your exhaust and you feel the air rushing out of there, then you're going to have a bent valve on your exhaust side, or you could have a bent valve on both your intake and your exhaust. So that's going to be it for this video, guys, on doing the compression and the leak down test onto my Prelude. Now I know what next I need to do onto the motor to get it running 100%. As well, I hope you guys found this video pretty useful. Whether you're doing the work yourself or having someone else do it for you, at least you know what the figures mean, and if presented the figures with the compression test or leak down test, you have a sense on what exactly is being said or what is going on. If you found it helpful, consider dropping a like on this video and subscribing to the channel. I have other projects on the channel and tons of other videos, so I'm going to keep dropping videos, so make sure you guys are subscribed and staying alert on the uploads. You can click the bell notifications. In the description box, I do have a link to my Etsy and eBay. If you guys choose to support the channel in any sort of way, you definitely could do it right there. But like I said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Comment down below if you have any questions. Check out some of my other videos. As for this one, I'm going to catch you on the next one, player.